Good evening, I'm Shane Jones. Leading the news at 7. Government has created a National Cruise Development Commission in a bid to address the challenges the island's cruise sector is facing. The announcement was made by Minister of Tourism and International Transport Carrie Simmons during a press conference to update the country on the developments within the cruise industry. Kishmar Sinjus reports.
The 15-member National Cruise Development Commission will be headed by Errol Humphrey. His deputy is Dean Straker. Other members include entertainer Natalie Burke, media personalities Carol Roberts and Vic Finance, along with the chairman of the Barbados Tourism Investment Incorporated, Roseanne Myers. Minister of Tourism and International Transport Carrie Simmons says the commission will gather feedback from stakeholders and is expected to report to Cabinet.
The commission is going to be asked to report back to Cabinet within 12 weeks so as to put us in a position to start for the winter season to implement some initiatives which we hope can turn around or begin to turn around the visitor experience in this country. And again, as far as I'm concerned, I can predict some of the things that will be told, and I know some of the things that we have to do. We got to get signage right. We got to get garbage collection and litter under control. We have to make the country cleaner.
While noting that record highs were recorded last year in tourism, Mr. Simmons says visitor spend remains a concern. He says the cruise sector is in a state of deep crisis.
10 years ago, Barbados was earning $57 million per year from cruise. 10 years ago. Today, Barbados is earning $57.3 million per year from cruise. So we have grown over 10 years by $300,000. When you factor in inflation, we really have not grown. We have not actually stagnated. We have actually started to go backwards. And against our competitors in the region, as I said to you before, we are $42 US below average in terms of passenger spend and $100 US below the top flight destinations in the Caribbean.
Though the cruise sector has been growing globally, Barbados is said to be losing out to its regional neighbors. Mr. Simmons says immediate action is needed to avoid catastrophic failure. Kishmar Senjis, CBC News.
They started with 14 finalists. Now there are 8 left in the 2018 Circuitologist MQI Mazda Challenge. That event got underway at 6 this morning, and the action is still ongoing in CBC's Outer Car Park. Rianne Phillips has more.
These 8 finalists are determined to win this Mazda 3 car. So far, they've completed 3 mini challenges and withstood the day's heat.
The first challenge, we call it flip-flop, so you had to run from one end of the car park to the other, just about 22 meters with fins on. And the last person that crossed the line was eliminated. The second challenge, we call that one catch a ride relay. So you had to put on shoes and socks, you had to pack a bag with specific items that you were given, run halfway that course, take the bag off your shoulder, put an item in it, zip it back, put it on your back and run to the end. Last person eliminated. The last one, that was marble fishing, where we put 50 marbles in a pail, and then we added water and a 25-pound bag of ice. They got in and they used their feet only, picking the marbles up with their toes and then putting it in a pail that was on the outside. And that was a timed challenge, and at the end the 2 persons with the least amount of marbles were eliminated.
Friends and family have gathered under the tents to give support. Up until the 15-minute bathroom break around 2 p.m., there were 9 left.
It was pretty smooth for now, but it's blisterous. It's hot and blisterous. It really burns.
So far, I guess it was okay. The sun is obviously hot, so the car will get a little heated. That was, I guess, the more difficult charging point.
It's very competitive, very, very competitive. And it's killing me. Very tiring.
My elbow is hurting me a lot. So it was challenging to keep my hand in that position for that duration of time.
It's about a little, hand's a little sore, but I can overcome that.
I don't think I have an arm, I can't feel it at all. But yeah, it's going good though, still confident, still reckon I could hang in another day or two, so we'll see how it goes.
It was indeed challenging. especially at particular points where the sun came out from behind the clouds and you had direct sunlight and the car was already hot, so it really intensified.
After the break, it went from 9 to 8 when competitor number 6, Wayne Clark, returned late. Officials expect the challenge will run throughout the night. Rianne Phillips, CBC News.
Thanks, Rianne. Well, we now go live to Shane Seeley in the CBC car park to get the latest with the Socotologist MQI Mazda Challenge. Shane, what's happening? Are there still 8 in?
Well, Shane, I can tell you that there was some applause just a few minutes ago right out here in the outer car park of our CBC headquarters here in the Pine, because these 8 contestants in the CBC Socotologist Mazda Challenge just passed the 10-hour mark. Yes, 10 hours since the CBC Socotologist Mazda Challenge would have started. And these guys, they are real troopers, braving some real hot sun today and are here now intending to go right through the night. Now, they're getting breaks every 4 hours. The last break would have come at around 6 o'clock this evening, and you should have seen them running to the bathroom just to freshen up, of course, release the bladder, get some refreshments, and then it's back to the grind here, keeping their hands on the car. As you would have heard from Rianne, 2 contestants were eliminated earlier today. Those would have been Josh Hinkson just after 1, and then Dwayne Clark, of course, disqualified under some strange circumstances. He just stayed in the car too long and didn't hear that horn to come back, to place his hand back on the car, to be continuing this CBC Mazda Challenge. Now, the last time there was a challenge like this, the Ford Focus that they were vying for at that time, years ago, that went 27 hours. At the rate they're going right now, they are set to go even further. So we will keep updating you. Of course, tomorrow we'll bring about 3 updates to let you know who is in and who's out. You don't know who may fall asleep on the car or fall asleep, period, because once that hand moves off the car, if you budge, and there are fair play officers that will be here throughout the night, also closed circuit television cameras that will be monitoring any little movement, because any little movement and you're out of the competition. And it's worth it to be here, because the prize, that beautiful red, almost $80,000 Mazda 3. So we'll keep you posted as the competition continues.
For the next 2 weeks, a number of Barbadian dancers will be given tuition-free training from international professional dancers. It's all thanks to the Barbados Dance Project. The classes are being held at Pearl's Dance Studio in Sugarcane Mall. General Manager John Hunt says there are 15 dancers in the 9 to 14 category and more than 20 in the seniors. He says after the classes, the Dance Project offers continuing training and possible opportunities to tour. Mr. Hunt adds that the classes are intense.
The intensive is as a concentrated period of time. So what would normally happen within a 1 or 2 week time for 1 hour happens and then 6 hours every day for 5 weeks. So it kind of really pushes like a catalyst forward. And what we find is that they're very inspired after that to do better in their classes, to do better in their training. And some of them have taken the opportunity to further their studies overseas. Some of them are going off to college in the next period of time. And some of them have come back and have now entered the dance professional world in Barbados. So we're seeing a change in the way people look at dance and look at how they present their careers as dancers.
And Mr. Hunt also says the international instructors are fantastic.
Jamal Calendar, he's a first-generation Barbadian, but he is currently working in Mannheim, Germany. We have Mia Lee, she's from Taiwan, but she works in New York. Major Nesby, also of Dominican Republic descent, is also working in New York. So there are 3 of them are here this year.
On the regional scene over in Ghana, a new police service commission has been sworn in, and the focus is now on the appointment of a new police commissioner.
Now that the Police Service Commission is in place, the process to identify a substantive police commissioner is expected to get moving. President David Granger, speaking to reporters on Thursday, said the chairman of the commission will now have to engage members of that body.
He has to meet with his colleagues on the Police Service Commission and review the potential candidates before he can consult with me. I told him that I am ready at any time for such a consultation, but I am prohibited from proceeding without a consultation.
The Constitution gives the President the authority to appoint the Commissioner of Police and every Deputy Commissioner of Police after meaningful consultations with the Leader of the Opposition and Chairman of the Police Service Commission. Nevertheless, among other things, the President wants the next Commissioner of Police to have what he calls the 3 I's.
His integrity is the most important, and I'm looking at intelligence and impartiality. I don't give orders to the Commissioner of Police, but I want somebody who's unbribable.
A jury in the United States has ruled that Roundup, the most popular weed killer in the world, gave a former school groundskeeper terminal cancer. The maker of the product has been asked to pay $289 million in damages. Dwayne Johnson's victory could set a massive precedent for thousands of other cases, claiming Roundup's famous herbicide causes non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Johnson's case was the first to go to trial because doctors said he was near death.